What's happening, FlowChat Connector? Sean here, back at you for another high-ticket tune-up. In this one, we're going to talk about how to own the high-ticket sales process. If you've ever been in a spot where you feel like you might have lost a deal because you didn't make a good decision, stay tuned. What's happening, FlowChat Connector? Sean here, back at you with another high-ticket tune-up. Hope you're ready for today's session. Today's a great one. We're just going to talk about how to own the high-ticket sales process, right? The question actually came in from Reese. Reese asked me this. She said, Sean, I'm not closing enough, but I have enough opportunity to do well. I get into convos and we always seem to stalemate. I'm unsure what to do. Any guidance is helpful. And as I continued having this conversation with Reese, what I found out was that she goes through a process and then she doesn't actually make decisions. She actually relies on the prospect's selling system. And so when I opened her eyes and I shared, I was like, look, Reese, you're stuck with the prospect system, which again, if you don't remember that one, I've done a couple of sessions, but it's lie, steal, lie, hide. That is the prospect's selling process. Now, if you don't have your own sales process, I encourage you or I implore you to get your own, right? There's a lot of different selling systems out there. If you want to learn more about our selling process, we have a 7-step method, the Ascension method I've used to close over $130 million in my career. It works, right? But it's a process that I own. It's a process that the others that use it own, and they own that process. And so when Reese gets into these conversations, she has plenty of opportunity. She's doing good prospecting work, but her sales game falls flat because she gets in a conversation and she always gets down to this. Well, what do you think? And typically when a salesperson or a traditional salesperson says, what do you think? It's the dagger of death, right? The dagger of death means simply they are going to, the prospect now owns you. The prospect owns the situation. The prospect is going to make the decisions that they want to make versus you having the power and the control to disqualify them, right? And that's why as we dive into the kind of the steps, the first step is you need to lead the process. So have your own. We have a 7-step process, right? I bond and I connect. I set the rules of the game, what the call is going to be about, the agenda. I dig into the problem. Does this person that I'm talking to have the problem or not? If they don't have the problem, guess what? I'm disqualifying and removing prospects from the process. And I know after having a very brief conversation, I'm like, look, Reese, if I'm speaking to Reese as a prospect, I understand that you don't have my software doesn't make sense because you have a good prospecting system. So you don't need it. I think we should just call it what it is and move forward. How else can I help you? That's the end of that sales call and we can move forward. I've disqualified Reese. I've moved on to the next step. And very simply, I own the process. So I'm not stuck in that stalemate place. So again, what I share with you is develop your own selling system. I like to think of it as like steps that you go through. So the first 2 steps are kind of generic, like bonding and connecting with somebody, setting the rules of the call. Then we get into the pain conversation and understand if they have the problem that you solve. If no, stop the call. Right? If yes, continue, right? And then we get into the budget, like do they have the time, the energy, the money, the blood, sweat, and tears, the necessary means to invest into your solution to actually solve the problem? If yes, continue. If no, say, hey, you know what? Like you have the problem we solved, but you're not quite ready yet. So I think what I'd like to do is just kind of put this one on ice for a couple of weeks and get back in touch with you when you're a little bit closer. Does that sound okay? I've just ended that sales process, right? Not the prospect. I own it. And so then after, if they have the budget, then great. We move on to the next one, which is the buying decision. How do you make buying decisions of this type of magnitude? And if they have the means and a system and a process that they can flow through, then it's going to be a lot easier than if they've never done it before, right? And so if they don't have a good buying process, and I know, for example, if I'm selling to, a small team, you've got like a CEO, COO, maybe a CTO, and then maybe like 1 or 2 other people, and I'm speaking with the visionary, and I know that visionary doesn't have a good buying process to get everyone else involved. I own the process. I'm going to say, listen, Mr. CEO, I think we need to get in touch with your CTO and COO on the next call. Is that something that you could do? We can walk through some of these things that you can't quite bring the answers to the table yet today with. Is that something that you think we could do? Yes. Okay, great. Get out your calendar, book another call, put the right people in the room, and boom, you got it, right? And this is what I'm talking about when only decision makers can get others to make decisions. As a sales professional, I'm making decisions. I know if somebody meets the criteria for my sales system or they don't. If they don't, I'm making the decision to not move forward, and I'm getting them to agree that that's the right place. But if they are the right fit, then I'm going to say, listen, you are the right fit. I would love to work with you. I enjoy your energy. Am I someone you want to work with? Yes. I just got them to make a decision, and now we can move into the next step, right? And so that is what I talk about when I'm saying only decision makers can get others to make decisions. You as the sales professional need to be the decision maker, and you need to lead your own selling process. Own it, right? And then when somebody doesn't fit, you just simply disqualify them and remove them from your process. And that's it. It's very simple, right? Be the person that makes decisions. Don't get stuck like Reese does and get stalemated, and get that phrase, what do you think, out of your vocabulary. Not a good phrase to have in there. And with that said, you've just been tuned up. It's another great high ticket tune up. Don't forget to smash that like button, feed the algorithm gods, get this out to more people that need to hear this information. And please subscribe to the channel, because we need more people to learn this great stuff, because there's too many bad sales people out there. I know it's not you, but I know you might know one or two of them. And all you need to do is say, hey, go check out this channel. It would be fire for them. So with that said, I love your face, and I can't wait to see you next time.